Welcome back. 2001 Ford Focus ZX3 2.0 liter dual overhead cam. Real bad squeal when you start it up. Talking to the owner of this, no AC. We're going to take a look at this and see what's going on. I think we may be looking at a pretty sure bad compressor from what he said. I have a feeling it may have shredded this belt on this car, but we'll see. Let's go take a look. All right, well, not real hard to see that we have a slight problem here. Look at this belt. It's actually split in half. It's totally destroyed on there. Like I said, from what the owner said, had an AC problem. There's no AC. And I believe it probably locked up. I think it's not locked up now, but it probably locked up and shredded the belt. I'm going to actually have to reach down. The tensioner, I believe, is in the back here. Yeah, it is. Well, I don't think it's the AC. Let me get this out of the way, this overflow, and a little visual inspection. I believe we have an idler issue here. And I believe the AC not working is a different issue, but this idler is destroyed. Wow, that looks pretty interesting. All right, let's go get a better look at that. So hopefully you can see this. I think you can. Down here, got a little problem with, I think it's the idler. I don't even think it's a tensioner. I think it's an idler pulley. Yeah, top idler pulley, I think. It's bad. So I'm going to cut the belt off. I'm not even going to try to fish that belt out of there. And then that should give us a little more room. You can see how there's metal particles all over the place in here from the edge of that pulley just disintegrating, basically. But the car's got almost 300,000 miles on it. I believe that's the original pulley. I don't know that it's ever been replaced, at least not since I've been working on this car, and it's been several years. So let's cut the belt off and see if we can get that out of there and get a new one. We'll cut the small piece first. Let's care that one. Now we'll go for what's left of the big piece. We'll just go to the utility hub next and see what we can do with that. Yeah, I believe we can. There we go. All right, let's just fish this belt out here for now. There's a piece of it. There's some more of it. What's left of it, not much. Shredded it. Trade that in here, a long wrench. Oh, first time. Let me think, is this left hand threaded or not? I don't know. Nope. It's not. Maybe the tensioner might be. I'm not sure on this one. I got it loose. We'll get a ratcheting wrench. Not a lot of room to work in there. I know you can't see this, but you're not missing anything. Just undoing a bolt. Trying to get on it, undo it. I hope. I can't even see. I'll get my flashlight. Come on, it's 13. There we go. There's not a lot of room to work in here. I may end up, I don't know, pulling that off of there maybe. Get in there a little if I can. Maybe. Get this up and out. Yeah, move that out of the way too. Kind of box it up front here without spilling it, hopefully. See if I can keep it up front. Alright, get my hand in there. A little better. It's loose. This is lovely. That's one of the worst ones I've seen. We'll have to go through and clean these grooves and make sure they're all cleaned out before we put the new belt on here. Get a belt for it, get a idler pulley. Yeah, there's not much left of this. It's probably, like I said, I think it's original. Made it almost 300,000 miles. Look at that. There's a piece of it. Oh, beautiful, huh? Not a whole lot left there. Whew! Find the rest of it that hit the floor. Somewhere. Where'd it go? I don't know. Let's see it. Here it is. So the bearing's pretty much shot in that. There is no bearing. It's gone. Just a shell. It's just a shell of a bearing. There's the shell for the bearing. No ball bearings, no bearing left at all. Just utterly destroyed. I don't know. Well, we'll find out. I get the new one here. I don't think I'm going to be able to sneak it on there without picking the motor up a little bit. Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. So I got to go order one of these while I'm in here. I'll spin my other ones, feel them. It feels good, actually. Feels good. Everybody else? I don't particularly like the power steering pump feeling, but I think it's loose. That's a little worn, I think. It's not wobbling though, it's just on the shaft in and out. Yeah, we'll see. It's not leaking though. And it's not making any noise. And the AC is spinning freely, so not an AC issue. Might be an AC issue, but not what caused this. This was a bad idler. Melted it, shredded the rest of it. All right, let's get the parts and get it fixed. Sounds like a good time. I got my new pulley and a new belt, and that was a trip in itself. List 2 belts for this. Neither one of them was right. Ended up measuring the old one 83.5 inches for this vehicle. So there's a spacer that goes on the back of the pulley. There's just enough room to get it in there between the frame rail and getting it in place. But make sure you have that spacer. Otherwise you're going to be bound up against the block. It goes between the block and the back of the bearing, goes like that, this way. I'm just going to put that in. And then I'm going to show you the diagram for the belt. I really can't show you putting the belt in. The tensioner's back here. I might show you a little bit about that, how to move it. It's really tight. You know, it's not brutally tight, but it's not an easy one to see anything. And I'll show you the diagram of the way it's supposed to go. And then we'll come back once I have it in place and see how it sounds then. Alright, so motor mount's out now. So what I found was, here's the tensioner pulley down here. Has to rotate up, has to come up. I have serpentine belt tool, but I obviously don't have the right one for this because there's no way I can get a socket in there. And I could not get an angle on it with a long wrench to get it. I know it's not going to move enough. I got a mess going on in there right now because I got to clean it again. So I pulled the motor, I blocked the engine up, pulled the motor mount out so I can get a wrench and I have much more play. And there you can see crankshaft down there. Here's the new idler pulley with a spacer behind it, lined up with the other ones. And of course, as soon as I got down in here, you see that right along the rail there, that brake line, as soon as I touched it, it's rusted really bad, started leaking. I believe it's leaking, it looks like to me, on this side of that union. I'm going to try to break that loose, obviously. And I'm going to have to create a new line, put a new line on that. That's kind of sucks, but that'll be a different video. Right now, I'm just going to put the belt back on it. It is leaking brake flow, by the way. It's dripping on the floor, so beautiful. That's what happens. You get a 20-year-old car. In the rust belt, yeah, they leak. Everything leaks. All right, let me clean those pulleys up a little better, and then put that belt back on, hopefully, and then we'll go from there. I wanted to show you, I've got the belt routed. Goes underneath crank, around the AC compressor, up around the power steering pump, down underneath the idler. Now, off the top of the crank, it comes underneath this other idler here, this big one, and around, and then back to the idler, their tensioner pulley. So everything is on. You want to do this last. So I'm going to have to reach down in there, lift that up to bring the tension up, and hook it around the alternator belt. That's the way to do this. I would recommend, unless you got the special tool that you can get in there to get at that idler, you just block the engine and take the motor mount off. It's 3 bolts and 2 here, and pretty easy pretty quick, and you just save yourself a lot of time and grief. Ask me how I know, because I tried to do it without it. It was almost impossible. It's just hard to get at anything. It's easier just to take the motor mount off, block it up, take it off, and be done with it. Well, there you go. It's definitely 83.5 inches for this belt, because it was still tight. I had to put the wrench on standing straight up here and lay it all the way down over here, even just, you know, beneath the frame rail to get that polar tensioner to come up enough to be able to get it on there, and even then it was still a little tight, but everything's on. Everything's good. I'm going to put this motor mount back in so I can take it out again. I got to put it back in because I don't have the car up off the ground, and I've got the engine blocked, and I'm going to need to pick the car up and take this wheel off to do this brake line. Whole different thing, but you know, that's pretty much it for replacing that idler pulley. Not too bad, really not too bad, but definitely needed it. Well, that's it for this belt and idler pulley. I honestly find it's easier to support the motor, pull that motor mount, and just pull it out of the way. I think it takes about 5 minutes, and it makes it much easier to get to the belt. It's a lot quicker than trying to mess with it and trying to work around it. It did just shredded that belt, 83.5 inches. Like I said before, it took me 3 times. Both the belts listed for this were wrong, and I actually took the long. Well, I was smart enough the second time, actually the third time, when I went back to get the third belt, take the old belt, what was left of it, with me after I cut it off and measure it and say I need an 83.5 inch, and that's what you need basically. No more noise on startup, no more squealing, no problems. Might be doing an AC video on this because I don't think it has AC, at least checking it out to see if it's a compressor issue or Freon, doesn't have any, I don't know. Wasn't planning on doing a brake video for replacing a brake line, but that line right in front of that, along that rail, as soon as I stuck my hand in there and just brushed it, it started leaking all over. It's just rusted to nothing. Fortunately, it was on the forward side of the union that was already there, and I was able to get it undone and get it apart. So that'd be another short video. But if you have this problem, you need to change the belt on this or idler pulley or something else, I hope this helps you out. If you like the video, subscribe below. Thanks for watching.